So, what I wanted to cover in today's training, in today's episode, is it might be a little bit jarring to some. It may be familiar to others. Uh, but I would say overall, it's going to reassure you that just because your content isn't getting the quote unquote engagement that you want, it doesn't mean that it's not working. And I'm going to kind of break this down because this is a very specific 15-minute routine that I feel, and this is something that Nancy and I do and what we teach, that everyone should adapt. And I can promise you, if you start adapting this little 15-minute routine, it's going to change things. And what everybody needs to understand is less than 3% of LinkedIn members post each week. Less than 3%. So that's 97% of people on LinkedIn never post. Less than 3% of LinkedIn members post each week. So most people think that means that there's less competition, but the reality of this, your ideal clients aren't posting, they're reading. So the thing that I really want you to take away by the end of this is just know that what you're doing is working. You just can't see it yet. But here's what I can promise you. If you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're a service professional, I'm going to walk you through step by step this 15-minute routine. And the best part of it is it doesn't start with creating content. You should be creating content, but it doesn't start with that. And I invite you to listen to this and watch this until the end. It's not going to be a long training and a long episode, but I'm going to share the one thing that this routine can't fix. So make sure that you stay till the end and make sure that you listen till the end. Now, before I jump into today's episode and today's training, if you are looking to get on that content creation train, but you don't know where to begin, from July 27th to July 29th, from 12 to 1 Eastern, live and recorded, Nancy and I are running a free LinkedIn workshop called Clients on Command, Your LinkedIn Content Roadmap. If you are listening on the podcast and you want to register, the link is in the description. If you're watching on social, Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, just type the word me in the comments and I will send you the link to get yourself registered so you can join us. There's close to 300 people already registered, so we're very, very excited about that. And we do hope to see you there. So, why posting alone isn't enough? And this is the big thing. People think that I just have to post. That's not it. So there is something called the 1-9-90 rule. The 1-9-90 rule. 1% create, 9% engage, 90% silently consume. I want that to sink in. 1% create, 9% engage, 90% silently consume. Your buyers, your future clients, your ideal leads are usually in that 90%. Posting will only reach the audience that you currently have. And if the wrong people are seeing your content, even if it's a great post, it's not going to generate business. So you have to understand that posting is never the number one answer. It's part of the equation, it's part of the answer. But 90% of those people are just silently consuming. So, what I want to do now is I want to take you through this 15-minute routine. And I invite you to re listen and re watch this portion as many times as you need to. So, how should you be spending this 15-minute routine? So, from minute one to minute five, so the first third of this 15-minute routine, what I encourage you to do, and this is what Nancy and I do and what we teach, is leave a thoughtful comment on three posts from people that you want to know. So you don't randomly just, comment on anyone and everyone. Look through your news feed, find someone that fits your demographic of either a potential ideal client or a business ally, and leave a thoughtful comment on 3 posts. Add value, don't just agree, like great post. Add substance. The LinkedIn algorithm rewards you for bringing up upon more thoughtful comments on other people's content. And your comments will introduce you to an entirely new audience because I've talked about this in previous trainings and episodes is that you want your comment to be a relevant comment. So if it's relevant, it will be shown first, so that will introduce you to that person's entire network. So that's minutes 1 through 5. Minutes 6 through 10, the second third, go back to your content and respond to every comment on your own posts. I talked about this before. Engage, acknowledge, ask, right? Engage the person, meaning engage them, whether it's a like, a love, a support, acknowledge them by hitting reply and a thoughtful reply with a follow-up question. So you want to keep the conversation moving, and these conversations increase your visibility and build relationships. So I did a poll question the other day, and it had about 5 or 6 comments. I replied to each of them, and the continued conversations happened from there. Some were first degree connections, some were second, some were third plus. So the second third of this is replying to people that comment on your own stuff. Now, the last third, minutes 11 through 15. So we went through minutes 1 through 5, 6 through 10, and now 11 through 15. Send 3 personalized connection requests to those that have engaged in your content, whether they liked it or commented. So you're limited with the if they're a second and third plus, obviously you would send them a connection request, you would add a note, and you want to base the conversation that you just had in that note. No pitching, no sales message, just begin the relationship. Hey Joe, thank you so much for engaging in my post about X, Y, and Z. Appreciate it and hope to connect with you soon. That's it. Now, if they're an existing connection, send them a personal message. Hey Joe, just wanted to reach out and say thank you so much for engaging in my post this morning. It means a lot and would love to connect offline if you had some free time. Let me know, and thanks again for your support. So you have to understand, you have to connect. So if we break this down, comment, reply, connect. Commenting, right? Minutes 1 through 5, replying, minutes 6 through 10, and connecting, minutes 11 through 15. Now, that's only, it's anyone can block out these 15 minutes. If you really want LinkedIn to continue to work, this will allow you to do that. Comment, reply, connect. So, why does this actually work? And I think that's the big question that may be fumbling around right now in your mind. People notice you before they follow you. So they'll start looking at your stuff, they'll start passively engaging, just reading before they hit that follow or that connect button. Many buyers will research your profile before ever reaching out. That's why profile views are important. So checking that in your dashboard analytics to see how many profile viewers you have, every month, every 90 days and so, that's important to know. Most purchasing decisions are already well underway before you ever hear from those individuals because they're doing their own research, and visibility always creates curiosity. That's why this works. The visibility is what you're looking for. So when you focus on the commenting, very genuinely, authentically, value driven, you reply to those thoughtfully that engage in your content, and then you connect with people, 3 that aren't connections, 3 that are, it's going to move the needle forward. And the reality check of all this is this. The routine gets people to your profile. That's what this is all about. Your profile and your content always determine whether they're going to stay or not. If your profile lacks clarity or the content that you're posting hasn't been updated in months, the opportunity will 100% go away and disappear. A warm audience with nothing to read is not a strategy. So, adopting this 15-minute a day method between commenting, replying, connecting, 5 minutes on each, you can stop obsessing over likes. You can understand that most of your audience is quietly watching. Remember the 1-9-90, right? 1% create, 9% engage, 90% passively just read. Invite, you know, invite people to connect. That's what this is all about. So remember, 5 minutes on each of those. And any of you that really want this to start turning your business in the right direction, this can absolutely help. So before I end today's training and today's episode, just remember, Nancy and I, if you're struggling with your content that starts the wheel turning of all this, we're doing a free LinkedIn workshop. It's called Clients on Command, Your LinkedIn Content Roadmap. It is from July 27th to July 29th from 12 to 1 Eastern. If you would like to register and you're listening on the podcast, just go to the description of the episode. If you're watching on social, Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, type the word ME in the comments and I will send you the link personally. So remember, this 15 minutes is something that you can do. Comment, reply, connect, and repeat that. And remember, going back to that 1-9-90, the law of numbers are in your favor, and you need to start taking advantage of it. So I hope you enjoyed today's training and today's episode. Love and gratitude, and I'll talk to you next time.